Stacey, thank you. All right, the story everyone has been talking about. We have confirmation now on what our sources have been telling us for a while, that the Republican National Convention will be held in Jacksonville this August. Action News Jax was the first to break the news last night.
Yes, Action News Jax just learned minutes ago that Mayor Lenny Curry will make a statement about this news at 7 this morning. So you can bet we'll bring that to you live over on Fox 30. Meanwhile, President Donald Trump will accept the Republican nomination for president in the River City.
Jacksonville isn't just any city. Here in the River City, we do things big and bold, and we'll be ready.
That's the video. That's how the mayor made his announcement on social media. Action News Jax covering every angle of the convention coming to Jax and how this affects our local community. Remember, there is a pandemic going on, right? We start our live team coverage with Action News Jax, Beth Rousseau, live at VyStar Memorial Arena. Beth, it typically takes a year or more to pull off a major event like the RNC.
And keep in mind, Jacksonville city leaders have just 75 days to pull this off. So you better believe that this morning they are hard at work making sure that the VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena is ready for President Donald Trump to accept that Republican Party nomination come August. That's just 2.5 months away. Action News Jax was first to alert you Thursday night when Republican National Committee Chair Ronna McDaniel announced the party will hold the celebration portion of the convention right here in Jacksonville rather than in Charlotte, North Carolina. So the VyStar Veteran Memorial Arena holds around 15,000 people. Jacksonville leaders tell us they're expecting the RNC to bring in big bucks for this city. They're predicting an economic boost of $100 million. The chair of the Duval County GOP tells us that this will be the biggest event in Jacksonville since Super Bowl 2000 was held here in 2005. The city says that they're working with local, state, and federal law enforcement to make sure that this is a safe event. I'll have Mayor Lenny Curry's message to the families in the city of Jacksonville as it gets ready to play host to the RNC coming up on Action News Jax at 6:30. We're live downtown this morning. Beth Russo, Action News Jax.
The Duval County Democratic Party sent Action News Jax a statement. It says the decision to bring the convention to Jacksonville is irresponsible and reckless amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Party Chair Daniel Henry goes on to say, quote, "Now more than ever, we will continue our efforts to mobilize voters in Jacksonville to make sure Democrats are empowered, energized, and ready to go to the polls."
And our team coverage continues with Action News Jax. Alicia Tarancon, she joins us now live from the South Bank. And Alicia, the chair of the local GOP, says that the decision to host the RNC in the River City will be a breath of fresh air for businesses that are hurting because of the pandemic.
Yeah, and the hospitality industry was one of the industries that were hit hardest by the COVID-19 pandemic when all of those restrictions were put in place. That's why the Chamber of Commerce and Visit Jacksonville are excited that the RNC is coming right here to the River City. Now, Visit Jacksonville says that they were able to secure about 10,000 hotel rooms in just 48 hours to convince the RNC that they were capable of hosting the event. Many restaurant owners have already told us that they could use the financial boost. Superfood and Brew on East Forsyth Street told Action News Jax that they have been hit hard by the pandemic.
We've been scaling back as far as people coming to work, so I know other restaurants are suffering just like we are.
And the Chamber of Commerce says that it will, quote, strongly advocate for our small and emerging businesses to be considered for the millions of dollars of work and businesses that will be coming to our community. But there are some concerns ahead. We're going to take a look at what some of those safety concerns are with bringing such a large-scale event to the city. Reporting live on the South Bank, Alicia Tarancon, CBS 47, Fox 30, Action News Jax.
Now, the reason the RNC was moved from Charlotte is because North Carolina's Democratic governor wanted strict COVID-19 safety measures in place, including reducing capacity. Despite early hopes that warm summer weather would curb the spread of COVID-19, an infectious diseases professor from Vanderbilt University says that's not the case.
COVID's not taking a summer vacation. It's actually having new opportunities to spread. But of course, we knew that would happen once we opened up, but we had to do it carefully in order to not make too much medical and public health damage.
We're working to learn what safety precautions the RNC and the city of Jacksonville will put in place. Action News Jax anchor Tanika Hughes spoke with Action News Jax medical expert Dr. Michelle Aquino with Baptist. She recommends that wearing a mask should be a requirement. Dr. Aquino says that there should also be hand sanitizing stations throughout VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena. And she also says that the size of the event matters so that social distancing measures can be effective.
Because our numbers have been consistently between 2 and 3% of our population here in Duval have COVID. The transmission rate has been slowly increasing the last few days, but it hasn't taken a huge jump like in New York. I would hate for our numbers to be doing fairly well over the next month or two, and then we have this huge convention here, and then we see a high jump in numbers, and then the medical system is overwhelmed. We definitely don't want that.
Here's a look at COVID-19 cases in Duval County. It's broken down by zip code. You can actually search this at home. Now, as you can see here, the darker colored, the darker shades of blue there are where the higher number of cases are in those specific zip codes. Right now, you can see the west side, San Marco area, which was Duval's first hotspot, then Arlington, and the north side here are hotspots right now. And you can see them, as I mentioned, in the darker shades. They all have between 103 to 176 cases. San Marco borders the downtown area, as you can see right there, but the rest of downtown, where VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena is, are not hotspots right now.
If at capacity, tens of thousands of people will be spread out over the Jacksonville area. Now, before the pandemic, the event was expected to draw between 50 and 72,000 people, just like this, to Charlotte. Now, Jacksonville, we've been able to host some major national events that draw large crowds. You may remember the Super Bowl back in 2005. We hosted that. UNF reports the event drew about 130,000 visitors to the city. More than 78,000 were in attendance at the game. It also brought millions of dollars to the region. And remember this, 2016, the Welcome to Rockville Festival, that brought more than 50,000 people to Met Park in Jacksonville. It's called Florida's biggest rock experience ever. Some expressed concerns, though, about security and contractors getting paid in future Rockville events. And Jacksonville has landed huge contracts for major events like the Florida-Georgia game. The event will be here through 2025. The city has estimated the economic impact of the Florida-Georgia game at $35 million per year. There were concerns about piles of trash after last year's event. Ahead at 6:30, we compare the VyStar area to the Spectrum Arena in Charlotte and what the convention stands to gain or lose by bringing it to Jacksonville.
And we also want to know, do you have concerns about an event of this size coming to Jacksonville during this time? And here are the choices for you if you vote online. COVID-19 spread is one of them, civil disorder, and no concerns. So far, 46% of you say that COVID-19 spread is your biggest concern. You can join the conversation by visiting actionnewsjax.com/vote.